newspaper. The dailies every day on Core TV News.
Welcome back on the program now. On the dailies, we have here the Vanguard newspaper, The Guardian, The Punch, and our last point of call is The Nation newspaper. I'm being joined by the President General Chief Community in Lagos, Prince Kajo. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. All right, Godwin Ayebe is a journalist. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Well, we kickstart with the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The big story here says, Plateau massacre, retaliation for lost 300 cows. Beatty Anla there speaking. Buhari regrets attack, says politicians taking advantage of farmers. Headers clashes. PDP bemoans killings, carpets Buhari APC. Police special forces join other services on ground. And also we have here the picture story of president receiving a delegation of Urhobo Progressive Union comprising of their leaders. And also let's move on to the masthead now. Clamor for restructuring lays with parochial interest. This is coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. Arts, I won't go to jail. FG recommends compulsory TB tests for public servants and students. CJN bows judges from uploading personal pictures on social media. Page 9 there of the Vanguard newspaper. And we also have here out the bunch son drowned. Plateau massacre retaliation for lost 300 cows. This is coming from A.T. Anla. Quick one. Godwin, you're a journalist. What do you make of this?
Sincerely speaking, when I saw this headline this morning, I was not too happy, and because for me, coming such a statement coming from Yet Allah organization could as well trigger another violence, So what my stand on this thing now is the solution.
Okay.
You understand? If a Mieti Allah representative will come out to claim such or to make such statement, I think the person should also be called, you understand, so that he will be investigated. How did you guys lost 300 cows? You understand?
Okay.
Because I know vividly, I can remember vividly in Adamawa State, 5 young men were sentenced to death by hanging by a judge sitting in Yola because they allegedly killed a Fulani herdsman. So if the law can take its course to the latter, I think it will be good. It will be good, and it will help to mitigate against further occurrence.
Okay, you're calling for more investigation into this particular one. We get to talk more about the Herdsmen crisis this morning, providing solution to this one. And we saw the Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, visiting Plateau State yesterday. Now, let's move on now to the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Calls for nation's restructuring, parochial, says President Muhammadu Buhari. Promises to probe sale of Urhobo land donated to military. Emel denies being barred from entering Aso Rock. And also we have here National Assembly appeals verdicts on election reordering. Nigerians should not return Buhari in 2019, says Atiku campaign group. Why Nigeria must beat Argentina today. And also we have the picture story of the president there meeting the Urhobo Progressive Union yesterday. Plateau killers avenge cattle theft, says Mayati Allah. Osinbajo visits holds closed-door meeting with Lalong. Police military deploy personnel and planes. Can PDP orders condemn massacre? All this on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. And let's go on to the Punch now. The big story here says outrage over Plateau killings. Buhari, Saraki, ACF can Falana condemn massacre. FG promoting injustice by not prosecuting killers. Tamina Turake there speaking. Attack retaliatory, says Macban, North Central Chairman. Youth military disagree over secret burial for victims. And we have the picture story here of cows grazing at the entrance of the National Assembly in Abuja. What danger does this pose to us as a country? Let me let you speak, Prince Kaju, at this time.
If I may come on it, I'll go to the headline bordering on killings in Plateau State and Plateau State. I know this, and the comments of Mieti Allah is not welcome at this point in time when there are killings, a lot of lives are lost and all this thing. Then I also look at our government. Government for some time has not done what it's supposed to do. Government has not been responsive in securing the life of people. Because
just a moment, Prince. Would you say that the federal government has not been doing the needful ensuring? Because there's no responsible. Just a moment. There's no responsible government that will keep its eyes closed and ensure that people are being killed in the country.
Yes, and in our own case, people are claiming responsibility on each and every killings that are happening in Plateau. Now it's Plateau, it happens in Benue, in Taraba, and all these things. The very people that have been claiming responsibility for that have never been apprehended, they have never been arrested, they have never even been taken to any, prosecuted in any law court, and government is watching. Government at times, through its cronies, will come out with some things like communal crashes and a lot of excuses, calling on foreigners infiltrating the country, and you have the security apparatus within you.
What solution
the solution is that
prefer to others
must be doing. Government must do the needful. Government must apprehend the killers. Killing is killing. Must apprehend them and prosecute them.
Okay. So more stories on the front page of the dailies this morning. We'll move on now. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper. I won't go to jail because I have integrity. This is coming from the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. Tears anger as the bunch sound drums in Sumipo. Pages 4 and 5 of this one. This is quite pathetic. Alleged 4.7 billion naira fraud. Judge's elevation stalls Ladoja's trial. Page 8 there of the Punch newspaper. And let's go on to the masthead now of the Punch newspaper. 49 million naira scam. Buhari dissolves NAPTEP board, reinstates suspended registrar. AMCON to sell its shares in aero contractors. And that's what you have there on the Punch newspaper. And let's move on now to our last point of call, which is the Nation newspaper. Ekiti 2018, Kwankwaso calls for credible poll. Omoyene MPN INEC sued over tickets. Olo Paroku's campaign chief joins Fire Me. Can get details of that inside the Nation newspaper this morning. Battle against Argentina. No special treatment for Messi. And that's what we'll be having this evening. Anger over Plateau killings. Buhari justice will be done. So, are you convinced now that the president is taking bold steps to say justice will be done?
This issue
Oshibanjo injures stop killings. Special forces deployed. Can ACF decry violence? I know you have various comments at this time.
Yeah, this issue of justice will be done, it's like waiting for the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. Because this has been the story every now and again, And then the most annoying part of this thing is this. Somebody will come out and claim responsibility for this killing. And the person will still be walking freely on the street without being apprehended, just like Prince said. If you say justice will be done, we are tired of waiting for it. Let justice start now. Let us begin to have the justice. And again, you see, this issue of before now, sincerely speaking, I grew up in the north. You understand? I have the understanding of the dynamics of relationship that exists between the nomads and the herders and the farmers. Then we do have minor crises which sometimes could be taken to the court of magistrate court and to be settled, or could be settled out of court. But this time around, you have people with sophisticated weapons. They come at night, take lives of the defenseless people, and a government who should be responsible keep saying justice will be done. Justice, no, we don't need justice to be done. Let justice begin now. Enough of these killings. Enough of these killings.
All right, now we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about looking for a solution to all of this herdsmen crisis in the country. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
On the dailies this morning, Nigerians encourage corruption, says Jim Festa of the Punch newspaper.
David Mark says this be a journey.
Alleges Nigerian Governors Forum calls for Okunjo's fearless
Man
resignation.
says new PDP.
Page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The dailies, every day on Core TV News.
Democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless. This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis. Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
Cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism is concerned.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion.
Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I'm about focus.
Now, you see, let me
All right?
say this.
So that our soldiers will be free. We should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues.
You know, Angela, that's a very difficult question.
It is difficult to respond to that question.
Angela, that's a great question.
Great question, Angela. Angela, that is a very great question.
That's a great question, Angela.
Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah, very good question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's an interesting question.
This is an interesting question you pose.
60 Minutes with Angela. Gain answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Core TV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is Core TV.
Download Core TV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Democracy allows for fair hearing. This is reckless. This is ungodly.
When news break, we engage experts in critical analysis. Do you see your party coming into power come 2019?
This administration will succeed and succeed well.
Cannot be running a 4-year tenure like you are running a 20-year tenure.
He has done fairly well, especially where insurgency and terrorism is concerned.
Then it gets controversial.
They have a right to their opinion.
Can we, very interesting gentlemen, just hold on.
I am about principle and I'm about focus.
Now, you see, let me
All right?
say this.
So that our soldiers will be free. We should also ask for justification.
Core Digest, your #1 program for current issues. Welcome back on the program. Well, this morning we'll be talking about herdsmen crisis, providing solutions to some of these crises rocking the country and a panacea for national healing. Well, let me start with the governor of Plateau State. Indeed, he spoke yesterday saying that Plateau State government has cautioned members of the public, especially political leaders, against politicizing the crisis in Plateau State. Now, the state government says given the crisis a religious coloration or promoting deliberate distortions and misinformation could be dangerous for the already fragile situation in Plateau State. Let's take a listen to what the governor has to say.
Let me, however, strongly caution against the deliberate attempt to politicize the crisis and giving it religious coloration, fake news, deliberate distortions, and misinformation. Government, through the appropriate security agencies, will not hesitate to deal decisively with any troublemaker or peace spoiler that is determined to test the resolve of government. The government has taken decisive steps to reinforce security, particularly in communities prone to attacks, and in the same vein is working to tackle the underlying causes of conflict.
Plateau State Governor there, re-emphasizing that the government is doing the needful to ensure the safety of life and property. Is the government doing enough to quell all those crises? Let me take it up from the angle of the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, visited Plateau State to condole with the people and the government of the state following the deadly attack that claims scores of lives over the weekend. Now, Professor Osinbajo arrived at Jos Airport in the state capital on Monday evening and was received by Governor Simon Along and other government officials. He then proceeded to a meeting with leaders at different ethnic groups and the government officials in the state. The meeting is based on its discussion on how to ensure that peace returns to the troubled areas and prevent further attacks from happening. The Vice President following the death of no fewer than 86 persons murdered by suspected herdsmen during the weekend last in Barakin-Ladi local government of the state. The assailants carried out the attack on 6 villages, and well, it's quite pathetic. And that's what you have there, the Vice President indeed visiting Plateau State, reassuring residents of more commitments of the federal government in nipping in both such crises. I still have my guest in the studio this morning, President General Chief Community in Lagos, Prince Kajo. Many thanks for staying tuned. And also Godwin Anyebe, journalist. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now, looking at this crisis, herdsmen crisis, at the moment is becoming a reoccurring decimal. Let me start with you, Prince Kajo. In all of this, in order not to heat up the polity, what do you think the government need to do right to ensure that, well, such crises will be nipping, but will not be doing much more of reactive measures than being proactive?
Thank you so much. We are advocating solutions, not to heat up the politics, as you've said. When this started, the federal government came up with grazing routes. Said there were some gazetted grazing routes in the whole, maybe before independence. But then, when government discovered that it was not a fashionable thing, they now opted for cattle colony and all these things that they will take over some land and build cattle colonies for people and all this. Yet Nigerians still resisted. Now they came out with ranches on other people's land. I will call it that, because these ranches is what states like Benue State government, the governor of Benue State, the people of Benue State advocated for ranching. And for us in the Benue Valley, we felt ranching is the best practices of animal husbandry, such that there will be no rancor, there will be no fighting and all these things. But then when, as we advocate for ranching, the ranching we advocate for is not ranching on other people's land, not ranching on taking over people's land by force. It's ranching what Benue State government has come up, the law that is being implemented in Benue State, for instance, come up with the rancher and the landowner, both of them living a symbiotic relationship that is beneficial for two of them. While the landowner leases his land for a certain period of time, then the rancher will now do his ranching activities. He benefits from there and also pay the landowner for the period he has stayed. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, as stipulated in the Benue law, open grazing and ranches establishing, open grazing prohibition and ranching establishment law. So what that stipulates is that both the ranchers and the landowners will benefit from this. And because land is something of a heritage, it belongs to families, and it's something of an inheritance. You can't sell what is a family inheritance, you can't sell it to people. You can lease it for the benefits of for both your own benefits, for the immediate benefits, and also for posterity, so that children, generations after us, can also benefit from it. If, for instance, you sell that land for some people to take over, what of your own children yet unborn? What of other generations? Where would they get the land? So the law that the Benue State government established for ranching is such that it will be beneficial for the landowners. It will also be beneficial for the ranchers, as they lease, the landowners lease these lands to the ranchers. The ranchers are not doing the activities. They will pay a token for the period which they are to do their ranching activities, and it's renewable. It's not as if it's doing this, so that both of them will be benefiting. So that is the solution which
the method that the federal government is putting in place, talking about ranching. Are you not quite comfortable with this?
I am not comfortable with the method the federal government is putting in place. Is my opinion, and because I'm standing here for Benue Valley Initiative as a member, I think that is the opinion of the organization, that federal government ranching is a private business, and like being a private business, federal government have no business whatsoever to go and build ranches which is meant to be a private business or private individuals. All this thing. Take for instance, we government go and build farmlands for me being a farmer, a crop farmer in Sokoto, in Zamfara, in other states of the north that are not an indigene there. No, we advocated that ranching is a private business, so it should be the business of those states, because the indigenes that are livestock farmers, the state's government should encourage them by stimulating the way of giving them loans. If federal government wants, yes, federal government should also give them loans the way it has done with anchor borrowers in the rice farming and all these things. Can give them loans. You can also subsidize it in a way of subsidizing their supplements, their vet medicine, their personnel that will attend to these livestock, but not as in buying land or looking for land and building ranches for what is meant to be private business or private individuals.
Okay, Prince Kajo.
Government creates an enabling environment.
Prince Kajo, let me put you on a pause now. Let me talk to Godwin. Okay. At what point that the farmers and herdsmen got it wrong? Talking about their relationship at this time. In the time past, you grew up in the north, and you say the relationship between farmers and herdsmen. So where is this misstep coming from, where we are now seeing killings from both angles?
Yeah, Kasali, thank you very much. Like I said earlier, those days in the north, I also participated in this kind of trade by barter transaction that happens between the farmers and the herders. We have this kind of solid relationship those days, that you may bring your maybe a cup of guinea corn or wheat, or as the case may be,
and you were given a fura de nono.
Yeah, you understand. It was such a fantastic relationship when we were attending each other's social functions. You understand? Not until I don't know where this orientation came from. Some people begin to feel as if they are more at home than others. You understand that? And when there are issues on ground, some people will be given a preferential treatment than others. For me, that is where these issues started from. So going into the solutions, because at several points, these people have come together, Fulanis and farmers had come together at several occasions to look at how they will settle their issues. The issue has been, you allow your cows, to walk through my farm, to probably destroy my farm and produce. You understand? And the farmer will take the issue maybe to the village head, try to see how they could settle it. And as at then, they don't settle these issues amicably. It is not new, but the dimension at which it is going now is worrisome.
Are you not suspecting an infiltration as the president rightly suggested or said?
Infiltration as the president.
Said, because the president has always made claims that herdsmen don't go about with AK-47.
Yes.
The real herdsmen, because I grew up in the north. I see some of those people who just go out with their rod.
Yes, yes. But see, whether the president, whether let's assume there was an infiltration or not. You understand? There is a security apparatus on ground whose major also responsibility is to protect lives and properties. Let's assume that was an infiltration from the neighboring African country, just like the president claimed. Then what is the responsibility of the security apparatus? How comes our borders have become so porous that we are now falling out to come and begin to cause disintegration between ourselves? You understand? That is very important. And again, something must be done somewhere as far as I'm concerned, because sometimes even the leaders of the Fulanis that we used to know, we used to live together, you will wonder what has come over them overnight. You know, some of them will come out and begin to say some funny things, you know, as if you can't do anything, like you can't do anything. Let me give you an example. In Adamawa State, and I want to use the southern Adamawa, that is Numan axis, as an example. You understand that the Fulanis who comes to Numan market every Friday. They buy, they sell. From market, they move from one state to another. They rest, they buy their kose, and they have junction where they stop over to eat their food. You understand? That was this peaceful coexistence between the herders and the farmers. But all of a sudden, a Fulani man will look into your face and say you cannot do anything. He will go into this land and he will cause any damage that he wants. There's nothing you can do about it.
Really?
Yes. You understand? So something.
Do you have facts to back this up?
Farmers in there reported some of these issues. Farmers there reported some of these issues. You understand what I'm saying? And when, for instance, a crisis just like what we had at Kotomun in Demsa local government recently, where there was a misunderstanding between some young men and the Fulani headsman. They said the guys allegedly killed the Fulani man, and in no distant time a verdict was passed.
You've been at a particular angle, Godwin. You're a journalist.
Yes.
Are you saying that there are no cases where you have cow theft in all of this?
No, you can't deny that. You understand? I can't tell you that I have fact to that effect, but I've read several reports. You understand that some Fulani people sometimes complain of cattle theft and other issues like that. And of course, the issue of cattle rustling is not new to us. We've heard of several cases of cattle rustling. You understand? We can't deny the fact about cattle theft. You understand? Of course, even your farm produce could be made away with by an unknown person. So if they allege that their cattle was stolen, that could be true. I'm not saying they are lying. You understand? But the issue is, is it justifiable for you to take laws into your hand because of such an act? At least we have security apparatus in place. We have places where you have to channel your grievances.
Just a moment, we'll still continue on that same line of thought. Let's open the phone lines now to get the pulse of Nigerians on what we're looking at this time. We are providing solution to this issue of herdsmen crisis in the country. Do not make any hate speech. Whatever you want to say must be factual. Please reduce the audio of your TV set so that we can have that smooth communication on the program this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Back to you, Godwin. You're making some assertions to all of this. Tell us more about this issue of cow thefts and also providing solution to all of this. If the Meiti Allah, they're also making claims, the farmers are making claims, killings are coming here and there. How can we stop all of this?
Okay. Now, let me start from this issue of cow theft. You know, I just read it today. Was it today or yesterday? I read this thing online about 300 cows. I've never read it anywhere. I don't know whether they had reported this issue before any security apparatus in the past when it happened. I don't know, but it was after this incident in Plateau State that this issue came out. So what part of the solution for me is that let us not take laws into our hands. It is important for us to
just a moment. We have a caller. Mayor is calling us from Ghana. Mayor, thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Hello, Mayor. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. I can hear you. Go on with your comment, please.
Emmanuel, I'm not happy the way things are going. I said I'm not happy the way things are going in Nigeria. Buhari said justice will be done. When? Is it when everybody is gone? What sort of blood sucking is Nigeria? Killings everywhere. After killing, you see and hear that soldiers and police are deployed. Where were they when the crisis was looming? I believe our government is not serious at all. Look at Mike talking rubbish and nobody arrested him.
You're on the national TV. Thank you very much, Mayor from Ghana. Like I rightly said, we have to take into cognizance the words we use on national television. Well, let me come to you, Prince Kajo. You are the President General Chief Community in Lagos.
Yeah.
What are you doing to ensure more sensitization to avoid any form of allegation on your people back home?
Allegations of
the issue of cow theft, the issue of rustling and the rest?
Sometime in May, I think May last year, we did a world press conference here, and we advised the federal government that if by then the issue of ranching, because they have never embraced the ranching which was advocated by the people of Benue, that ranching is the best practices. So they were talking about open grazing and all this.
Just a moment, you'll continue with your line of thought. Let's quickly join Funky from Kaduna. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. Funky, go on with the comment, please.
Please, I want to comment on this issue of herdsmen clashing that is going on. Hello?
Go on, please.
Are you hearing me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Go on with your comment.
Okay. What is happening is that, like what is happening in Plateau State now, it happens similarly in Kaduna here, in Kuriga Chukwu local government, of which herdsmen came and carried about 90 cows from that community and went away with them. Then now, this community, Kuriga community in Chukwu local government, who are they to go now and say them that they are the ones that that these Fulani people are giving statistics of their 300 cows have been taken away. Are these Biron people, the one that took the cows, have they seen them, have they reported to the security people that they will just come one day because life in Nigeria is not value again to come and kill over 100 people? Is that how we should live in Nigeria as brothers and sisters? This country is going somewhere.
Thank you.
And our leaders need to do this.
Very much. In 60 seconds, you made your point there. I think he made a very valid point in that point. Well, continue with your line of thought.
So as I was saying,
the solutions.
We did a world press conference here in Lagos at the Ikeja Club, and we advised the federal government then the issue of ranching. They have never embraced ranching, as at that time they were talking about open grazing. We told the federal government that, okay, why not use the uninhabited Sambisa forest and convert it into a national grazing reserve? because it's very wide. It stretches to up to 5 states or the federation to up to 5 neighboring countries. It's bordering then Chad, Niger, Cameroon, and is it the Republic and all this thing. And it's a vast land that is not being inhabited. Nothing is being done there. And but then later the federal government has to embrace this ranching. And now we
have a caller again. Another caller from Ghana. Sadiq is calling us from Ghana. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ajay.
Good morning.
Yeah, about the issue that you guys are discussing about the Herdsmen farmer class. You know, if I look at the headline is being decided somehow decided because it's not clash. It will be herdsmen killing because it's herdsmen that kill. A farmer does not have gun. It is herdsmen that we know that they carry gun. If this issue continue like this anyway, because if you look at the whole scenario, how can they, because of they kill their cow, they now invaded and killed 100 because if you know in Nigeria, when they reported that 100 people died, then multiply it by 10, that is millions, thousands of people that they were slaughtered yesterday because of cow. And the president is telling us that cow is more valuable than human beings. That means Nigeria is an animal country.
Thank you very much, Sadiq. You can use such word on this TV. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. If you're Nigerian, you also come back to the country and provide solution to some of these crises bedeviling the country. And I don't think any reasonable government will sit and close its eye to allow its citizens or innocent Nigerians to be killed. Well, back to your analysis. I'm being told that we go on this break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the herdsmen crisis in the country. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
London, New York or Lagos, business or holiday, home or office, you can now carry out your tax transactions from anywhere in the world. You can now file all your tax returns, pay online, get a receipt and even process your tax clearance certificate from anywhere in the world online and in real time. All you need to do is log on to www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-services and be introduced to the world of innovation, convenience and transparency from the FIRS. You can also pay stamp duty as you register a new company with the CAC or for other transactions that require stamp duty payment online. You can also file your withholding tax returns and determine the withholding tax deducted from you is in government coffers so that you can get your receipt within 45 days as long as the deduction has been remitted. Yes, all of this and more online at www.firs.gov.ng/e-services. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC. Please note that all FIRS services are free of charge. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. It pays to pay your tax.
Welcome back on the program. My guests are still very much here. Prince Kajo, President General, Chief Community in Lagos, and Godwin Anyebe, a journalist. You were making some assertions earlier. Yeah. Can you continue with your line of thoughts?
You are asking of solutions. So we thought, because I know this program, a lot of people are doing and calls are coming in from everywhere. So the first solution is that the leaders of Mieti Allah that have been claiming responsibility for all these killings must be apprehended by government and must be prosecuted, and then justice must be done. Justice should be seen to be done by the federal government, as the president is always saying justice must be done. The vice president will say justice must be done. Let justice be done. Let the leaders of Mieti Allah be apprehended. They should be prosecuted and justice must be done and it should be seen to be done. And after that, government should also identify the states that the indigenes, their ways, their business, their means of livelihood is livestock farming, and then encourage those states, build ranches there, not coming to build ranches on other people's land that have nothing to do with livestock farming. For instance, in the people in the Benue Valley, Benue State, Plateau, Southern Kaduna, all these things, most of their business is farming and all these things. So you can't take the land that is meant for crop farming to build ranches there and then hand it over to people whose means of livelihood is livestock farming. They also have their own states of origin. Federal government can go in partnership with those states government to encourage the livestock farming in those states, not in other people's land.
Okay. Is that the solution you are providing?
That is not the only solution.
Okay, you have more?
Yeah.
Continue.
More solution is that, and as you see, the laws of the land must be respected. Why am I saying this? Benue State has made a law. Benue people came out with a law of open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment law, and then that law must be respected. Why am I saying this thing? In the year 2000, these laws came out in Zamfara. The Sharia law came out in Zamfara and some other northern parts of the country, and it affects most of our economy. Most of people from Benue, from Nazareth, from Kogi, Taraba, Southern Kaduna Plateau, they live, most of their livelihood is on beverage, the one that is locally brewed called burukutu. And then in those states, our people were doing burukutu. They live in a source of income.
Even the same brukutu that you just mentioned is what they drink in Plateau with even the herdsmen and the farmers.
They are using this thing. That is their mainstay, their business. But because these laws came out, they had nothing to do.
Okay.
They stopped that.
Prince Kajo,
cut off their business and all this thing. We respected it when it happened over there. We paid so much that most of our economy, it affected our economic mainstay. But because it's a law of the land, we respect it.
So what you're advocating is that law and order
law of the land must be respected.
Thank you very much, Prince Kajo, President General TIF Community in Lagos. Before I let you go, just one word from you, solution to all of this.
Seriously speaking, I want to add my voice to what Prince just said. You understand? This law we are having in Benue State now is a popular demand. It's a product of popular demand. You understand?
Are you advocating that it should spread to other states?
Of course, yes. Where in the world do herdsmen move around with cattle now?
Journalist Godwin Anyabe, many thanks for joining us on the program this morning. And that's how far we can go on Call Digest, just for 1 hour. Well, we hope when the World Cup is over, we're able to stay tuned to give you 2 hours of this wonderful program. Well, till I come your way again, I remain Emmanuel Ajayi. Well, go out there, do something great for this great country, Nigeria, and let's value life. Till I come your way again, God bless you and God bless Nigeria.